Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third installation of Raillery, Reason, and Rapiers Wit, which is a game of sensibility and swordsmanship, a good society game with masked heroes, daring do's, and by now, as we have finally decided, a big bad. We have lost our lovely player Agatha, who was with us for only 2 sessions, and instead we have decided to give this evil plot a try. We have decided that Viscountess Sybil Griffin will be our big bad. Her second in command is Lord Dartmouth, who we haven't seen yet. And her plan is nefarious enough. She wants to kill the Prime Minister's secretary so that her son can take up this position, get close to the Prime Minister, so that she then can kill the Prime Minister and become Prime Minister, because we are playing with gender roles off, and she totally can do that. Yes, so I would first go to our safety tools for a short moment, or brief moment, sorry. That's our collaboration. We have veils against sexual violence and violence against children and animals. And if anybody wants to expand on that, or are you good with it? Or is there anything else you don't want to have? Okay, I don't foresee anything like that coming up anyway. So we will also play with the X card, which means that anytime something comes up, some kind of content that you are not comfortable with, or that just makes you feel a bit like, oh, this is not really fun, then you can say X or type X in the chat, or make an X with your arms or your fingers, or in any way, please let us know. We will then identify which kind of content is the one that should not be in the game, to make it better for all of us. And then we will continue playing. We will not ask for an explanation. It is totally fine to X-card some content that you had let pass in the past, or that even if you introduced it and you think, oh God, what did I do? Past me, you're bad, I don't want this. Just go and exit. It's totally fine. We're also having an open door policy, so if anytime something comes up, you don't want to play anymore, or you have to go, then you just let us please know that you're going, and then that will make it work anyway. Cool. Yes, well, now I think we should introduce players and their characters. For this, I would like to go in the order of the character keeper, which means we would start with Justine. So please, Leandro, introduce us to yourself and Justine.
Hi, yeah, my name is Leandro, use he and pronouns. I'm playing Lady Justine Griffin, who is kind of the new arrival. By day, she is uncaring, bored, disaffected. But by night, she is the Velvet Ghost, a thief, a silent sort of, shadow who steals from the rich to, for the fun of it, get rich as well. She once had a secret fiance who has since departed because the heat got too much for her, and so Lady Justine is in a bit of a funk, probably, when you see her, owing to the fact that her love has gone and now she's left with, I don't know, ruining some people's lives, people who might have betrayed her. No, what do you say might? No, they did betray her for various nebulous means. But yeah, that's Lady Justine, bit disaffected in every way.
Very nice. We will follow up with, I think, Ellen and Mrs. Annabelle Hargreaves.
Yes, I'm Alan R. Use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Mrs. Annabelle Hargreaves. By day, Mrs. Hargreaves is a quite matronly widow, and who's actually shorter of money than it looks. She's certainly looking for a way to bolster her financial resources while remaining entirely reputationally intact. By night, however, she is a vigilante, the Reaper, who has a number of contracts to keep parts of London safe from crime, and at the minute, I think she's a little bit in difficulties because last week she discovered that Agatha, who's not playing today, her character was in fact Mrs. Hargreaves' daughter, who they'd become separated when she was born, and she tried to save her in her nighttime effort to just kill people. So I think Mrs. Hargreaves is at the moment slightly confused, while not forgetting that she has a big job on, which is to stop Hugh Botham's relationship with young Lavinia Dartmouth. It's terribly complex.
Yes, my character is the next one on the character keeper, but as I'm a facilitator, I will go last. So Scott introduces to you Botham.
Scott R., he, him pronouns. I'm playing Hugh Botham, also he, him pronouns. By night, Hugh is the Lancashire lover. His mission to encourage love wide and far, whether it's helping young lovers along with the wooing or the gift giving. Maybe if I have to find a gift, a nice expensive gift that happens to be in someone else's possession, and give that to that less well-off gentleman or gentle lady. Well, then, by gum, I shall do so. Hugh has adopted the persona of a bit of a cad, a bit of a Lothario, to keep his identity secret. It is not his true self, however, but it has now become a problem as he has his own personal desires to settle down. And that is Hugh Botham.
Well, then I will introduce myself, which I haven't yet. I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns, and today I will be playing Lord Cedric Griffin, he, him. Lord Cedric is Lady Justine's twin brother, but the younger one. He has this moderately successful career as the undersecretary to the Minister of Defense, I think, and he isn't raking in money hands over fists, but he has at least some kind of financial stability. He wants more, of course, because his parents are very rich, but his sister is the elder and would inherit. But maybe we can get the parents to not disinherit her, but like she doesn't really want it. Look at her; she just wants to sit in the corner and, I don't know, be solemn. She's very good at that, and I love her, of course, but she shouldn't inherit. That's my aim. I also was hunting the ivory stiletto. That was Agatha's character, but now she is gone, and my knight identity, my masked identity, is the Justice Phantom, who was hunting the ivory stiletto. But now the Justice Phantom has a headache because he got hit over the head. He doesn't know by whom. And now maybe he wants to find out how the ancestral sword of the Bonds came into the possession of his father. Yeah. That is Cedric. Maybe let's say a quick word to those connections we're playing. we have now a full roster of connections, and there's a dog. Oh my god, is it cute? Sorry. Alan, let's start. Leandro, would you just say a word or two about your connections that you are playing?
Okay, I'm playing 2 connections. One is Orlando St. George. 1 or 2 words, huh? For Orlando St. George, Mercurial. I'm just keeping to 1 or 2 words. You said so. And the other one is Lord Dartmouth. Power hungry. There we go.
I'm also playing Lavinia Dartmouth, the 17-year-old current amour of Hugh Botham, who's the daughter of Lord Dartmouth, and Lord Dartmouth is paying Mrs. Hargreaves in her nighttime identity to try and break up that relationship. I'm also playing Viscount Lucilla Griffin, who is the father of Justine Griffin and Cedric Griffin, and the unknowing, as far as we know, husband of our big bad, the Viscountess Sybil Griffin.
And that would be me. I am the Viscountess Sybil Griffin, and very, very severe woman. I cannot abide these young people today with their clothing and their hair and their dances. They are ruining the United Kingdom, and they will bring the empire to its knees. And where will we be then? And I'm also playing Helene Zapolsky, and she is a friend of Justine, and likes to look out for her and actually other people who like to lift property like Justine. She's a very outgoing woman, and runs an inn where it's just how she kind of networks with the young thieves.
I'm confused now because I thought you were playing Laurentia Blythe, and I was playing Helene Zabolsky.
You see, you shouldn't put me in charge of anything ever. If somebody's going to ruin it, it's going to be me. So yes, I am playing Laurentia Blythe, and I've seen wars. I've seen such tragedy, the depravity of men and women. You haven't lived like I've lived. Don't even pretend that you have. And that is Laurentia.
Thank you. Sorry.
She works for the Minister of War, or she is the Minister of War.
She is the Minister. She is the Minister of War. She's very important.
Yeah.
She's yes. I am playing. Yeah, who am I playing? Yeah, I should. Oh, I'm playing the Reverend Cuthbert Plunkett, who is a portly middle-aged reverend, a neighbor of Mrs. Hargreaves, or a vicar of the church that is in her gift, and he likes bird watching. That's his passion. Also, now I guess I am playing Helene Zapolsky. She is, yes, gregarious, innkeeper. She likes young people. Young people will be the saviors of this nation because everybody else seems to be so stiff. It's terrible. Yes, and that's Helene. Again. Okay, so we will now start with I will remind you of the rumors and scandals we have. Let's just read them through so we still we'll keep them in mind. I will start and then we'll just go around in the same order, right? So this is a spread rumor That is, years ago, you Botham jilted Annabel Hargreaves in front of an entire ball. And Leandro, if you could continue.
Oh, yeah, this one I've done is the Viscount Luther Griffin is said to be very unhappy with his wife. I don't know how that rumor could have spread. They seem very lovely together. They seem like very fine, compatible people.
Alan?
Lady Justine Griffin wishes to rekindle the affections of Hugh Botham.
Scott?
Crime is out of control in Bedford Square.
Wow. Well, I have another that is spread. That is the Ivory Stiletto is coming for the Griffin twins. And Leandro.
Well, a new outlaw, the Justice Phantom, has been making rounds in Bedford Square, although I wonder how the track record's doing lately.
And last one, Alan.
Hugh Botham is going to be a father, but who is the mother?
Lovely. Well, these are the rumors that are in the air. And we are entering our second novel phase. Now, in our novel phase, we can have visitations. We can have events like picnics or balls or something like that. Yes. I'm sorry, I have not opened it. It's too small. Exactly. So we have events or visitations or a mix of both of them. I think that you Botham invited Cedric to a hunt. That might be a visitation.
So it could be a yeah, I guess that would be a visitation. Although if it was more widely, it would be that he would open the invitation for quite a lot of people, to come, and the men and the women who hunted could hunt, and the men and the women who were not a fan of hunting would just hang out for the weekend.
So that would be an event.
It could be that style as opposed to just the two characters.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm kind of leaning more towards visitation because we just had a big scene where everyone was in, and also we just did an event as well.
Right, and I wanted to have that as a visitation.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
So our last novel phase was that a ball?
Yes, I know it was a soiree.
It was a soiree after church on Sunday.
Okay.
Okay, we have this one visitation. What other plans might there be to have invitations or things going on?
Mrs. this would be tricky. Mrs. Hargreaves would quite like to talk to Luther Griffin, but that is going to be quite tricky. So I don't know. I wonder if the Griffins might invite Mrs. Hargreaves to tea as a thank you for her organization of the soiree last week.
Then we could all be in the scene because everybody has a griffin. Very nice. Cool. Okay, so we'll just do these two, or do we have more visitations?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what Justine wants to do because she is in a bit of a funk. She'll probably drown her sorrows at the innkeep wherever Helen's working.
Okay, cool. So then we can see this. Maybe she could come across someone, Orlando, maybe.
That'll be me again.
Oh no, that's not good. Then
Maybe,
we won't do
anyone who thinks they have a person who can pass by in an innkeep,
Lavinia?
like Lavinia, or
I don't think Lavinia would go there on her own. The Reverend Cuthbert might.
Ooh, Yeah, but I can't play the Innkeep and Reverend Cuthbert in the same scene. Sorry. This is confusing. So let's just have it Justine and Helene, and let's see where that goes. And we should, of course, then I think we will do that, and then to advance the big bad's plans, we will kick it up in a rooftop or epistolary phase, right? Cool. Very nice. So where do we start?
Before we get started, I have a question about how the
Sure.
resolve tokens work with the big bad. So if we use one that kind of targets the big bad, we give it to the big bad.
Yeah, I think that would seem logical.
Yeah. Yeah, the big bad is just basically a connection. Like treat them as a connection.
Okay. So I don't know if folks recall, but on the last rooftop phase, I stole letters from
The Viscount.
the Viscount, and I wanted to spend a resolve token to among those letters, I found some letters where he was questioning his wife. His wife's the amount of time she was spending with Lord Dartmouth, kind of plotting, and that he no longer trusted her.
Well, then you would have to discuss this with the player of the Viscountess, which is also you. So
that's me.
So you can just resolve that amongst yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So I will do that, and I'll give the big bad now has another resolve token.
Oh no!
He was fairly wealthy in resolve token. Well, I guess 4 isn't the big. So give that to her. And all right. So then, all right. Let's continue. I just had the quick question. Sorry.
No, it's totally good. So where do we start? Hunt or T? Hunt, right? Okay. Yeah. So I think if when Cedric appears, he is a bit pale, I guess. He looks like he has maybe had a rough night or something like that. I imagine that this happens rather a day or two after the event with the ivory stiletto. So he still has a headache. Because that was some heavy gold he was hit over the head with.
All right, so you've arrived. Lord Griffin, you seem slightly unwell.
Oh, it's a cold or something. It's nothing serious.
Well, that's too bad. I was hoping that we would be able to spend more time together out of doors, but perhaps we can.
I am very well able to spend time outdoors, Mr. Botham.
Okay, all right. If you insist. I mean, you look. Well, frankly, you look like you could use a bit of a neck massage. If it wouldn't be too forward of me, I am well trained in that art.
Mr. Botham, I am.
If you're having head pains, perhaps that could alleviate them.
Well, I guess why not? If you kindly offer.
Begin giving Lord Griffin a massage. Tell me, Lord Griffin, I've heard rumors that your father is unhappy with your mother. I hope that life at the Griffin household isn't affected by that. True or false? Those kind of rumors.
Oh, these
could hurt.
Let me assure you that these rumors are. It's the first time I've heard of that. Actually, I have never. My father and my mother are very happy with each other. I assume.
That's good. That's good to know. I worried for you. It's good to have. It's not good to have parents who are fighting.
They are not fighting. Certainly not.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes. Oh,
Oh, what's this
And,
on your neck?
and I think you can feel that he has a bump on his head. It's not the cold; it's a bump.
You have a bump here on your head.
Oh yes, a funny story. Actually, when I was at the ministry, and then I was picking up some papers, and I had to sneeze, and I hit my head on the table.
Oof. Oh,
Yes.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yes. Oh, it was just silly.
Made of very,
Silly
very
mistake.
hard wood.
It's true. Yes. Yes. Well, that's to be expected in the War Department, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. Lord Griffin, I hope you don't mind me commenting, but this birthmark on your neck, it's quite interesting. It's
Is it?
almost like it's a noose.
I have heard that comment before. I don't know what.
Well, we're born
Why?
with them. There's nothing we can do about them.
Yes. Yes. Well. Yes. Is it just that I'm sorry. When you invited me, I thought we would have a larger company. Is it just the two of us?
Yes, it is. I thought it was an opportune time for us to get to know each other without the bother of society.
Oh,
Can I pay a resolve token as Lavinia Dartmouth to appear?
Yeah.
Who do I give that to?
you.
Where's my resolve token sheet?
I think you should give it to you because that is kind of yeah.
Because you're gonna give complications to me, right?
Yeah.
No, not at all. My dear Hugh, I had no idea that there was a party this weekend.
Not so much a party as. Do you know Lord Griffin?
I don't believe we've been formally introduced, Lord Griffin.
Lord Cedric Griffin. This is Lavinia Dartmouth.
My absolute pleasure.
Yes. Pleasure to meet you, Miss Lady Dartmouth.
Why are you feeling his head, Hugh?
Oh, he expressed he looked peakish upon arrival. It looked to me like maybe his head was in pain in his neck. I'm just giving him a quick massage.
And I think Cedric goes flaming red.
Oh, can I try?
Well, I see no reason not to. It's obviously you would need Lord Griffin's consent.
Well, Miss Lady Dartmouth, Dartmouth. Lady Dartmouth. I'm feeling vastly better after your friend's ministrations. I do not think I need any more care.
I have been told that I'm very good with my hands, Lord Griffin.
Oh, he is. He is.
That is a good quality in a man. And
Indeed, yes. I came here principally because I need you to sign this.
Ooh, what am I signing?
Oh, it's simply a joint invitation to some friends from you and I to join us for tea.
Tea? When will we be hosting tea?
Later this week. But I need you to sign it now so I can begin to send them round. So just sign here and here and here and here.
It seems like a fabulous idea to have a tea.
Oh, and of course,
Lord
Cedric, you're absolutely invited.
Oh,
thank you.
May I ask, now that I've signed these invitations, who else I am inviting?
Oh, just some friends. Just some friends. I thought that perhaps Mr. St. George, and I wondered, Lord Cedric, whether your sister might join us.
I will ask her, of course. She seems to be a bit out of sorts. It might do her spirit some good.
Lady Griffin? Which day is this?
The day after tomorrow.
I suddenly.
Don't tell me you're busy, dear.
No, I must sit down, and I just need a drink. Um,
Well then,
Are you
don't
wonderful.
let
are
me
you quite
disturb you. Don't let me disturb you. You boys carry on, and I shall take a walk around the garden.
I shall get my dog. He seems to be barking. There we go. Um, Lord Griffin, it would be wonderful to have
are
you
you
for tea.
are you quite well, Mr. Botham? You
Just a
seem
little startled. I wasn't aware that I
overcome.
would have social plans later this week.
Oh,
I shall recover.
well, she's
Can,
quite a lovely creature. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I want to spend my monologue token on poor Hugh Botham.
Yes.
Let me get their first names. This is inside of his head. Okay. I'm not sure. This complicates my wooing of Cedric. So beautiful. Justine coming. Mm. Lavinia, she's been such a good friend. How could she do this to me? Perhaps she senses my attraction to Lord Griffin. I need to be more careful around everyone. I think I may have let too much. I'm not usually like this. It's just if only I could get Justine to accept me back as her friend. I know if there's some favor I can do for her brother, maybe assisting him in ways that don't benefit me in in the the carnal ways. Perhaps she'll believe that I'm worthy of her friendship again. Perhaps. Yes, that is what I must do.
And while you are lost in your thoughts, Cedric will extol on the virtues of young Lavinia, who is quite a lovely creature and so lively and vivacious.
Yes, very true. Very true.
Comes from a good family too, I think.
I,
I've,
as I, family. I just, we're all wonderful people, regardless of our family.
well, that is a quite modern approach to society's life. To society life, I think my parents would not agree.
Oh, yes, yes. Your parents do seem to be a bit more traditional than myself, but we all have our own beliefs. Tell me, how do you enjoy working as a minister's secretary?
It is very interesting, a lot of responsibility, and he will start to tell you about what his job is and those interesting pieces of paper he's working with. Yes, exactly. But I think you'll notice at some point that this is not very interesting to you. But I'm afraid I am boring you, Mr. Botham.
No,
I'm very sorry.
not at all.
I
I
I
was
realize that not everyone shares my fascination with the law.
No, I'm amazed that you've invented your own filing system. It's truly a thing of beauty and wonder. Um, Perhaps I know some folks in the Ministry of War. Perhaps I could recommend you for even higher posts.
You could.
It cannot
Mr.
hurt.
Botham,
Always
that
nice to move up.
that is a very generous offer, Mr. Botham. I would not say no to such a gracious. If you could make some introductions, I would certainly be interested.
I will do what I can if you could do me a favor.
Well, of course.
Your sister bears ill will towards me.
Justine.
Yes, we formerly were the fastest of friends, and I fear that I behaved in such a way that damaged that friendship.
I seem to vaguely remember, but truth to be told, Justine, ever since she came home, she has been in bad spirits. I don't think it's personal.
Okay, I just, if you were close, I was hoping perhaps you could put in a word for me. I have actually learned.
Oh, of course.
I did hurt her. I will be honest. And I am truly sorry. I miss our long conversations. She truly may have been one of the best friends I've ever had, and I spoiled that.
Oh well. Yes, of course I will. I will speak to her. I am sure she has long forgiven you.
You are a doll, truly.
Well, I'm very glad that we've made this acquaintance. And he holds out his hand to shake it.
Not quite nearly as much as I am. Thank you.
Shall we go riding now?
Yes, let's ride. And I think that's scene.
Yes, I think that's scene too.
I was really hoping you'd get into the hunt so I can spend a token to make it rain. Alas.
You can still spend a token to make it rain and one of us to take sick. Because that's what happens when you go out in the rain. When Jane Austen knows, right?
Well, my other plan was to make it rain so Cedric would have to stay the night.
Nice.
I might actually just do that. So that means Justine will have to face Mrs. Annabelle Hargreaves by herself because Cedric's over at Hugh Botham's place.
His loving mother is there.
Oh, jeez. Alright, so I've spent that token. Yeah, let's jump into that. I think So Miss Hargreaves, you get the invitation from the Griffins. It was probably Cedric who arranged it, but he's indisposed over at Hugh's place. So when you're kind of greeted by who should be the elder sibling, Lady Justine Griffin. You can tell she's putting on a face, but you can tell her cheeks are a bit more gaunt. Her eyes are a bit more crow's feet, just a bit baggier. And when she greets you like, welcome to the Griffin estate. Please make yourself at home. You know, she's a bit peaky.
That's very nice of you. Are your parents at home, Lady Justine?
I believe so. She doesn't know. I believe so. If they are, they'll make themselves feel welcome. This is our place, after all. And she's kind of leading you kind of towards the drawing room, which the last time you were there, you're watching your newly discovered daughter run off.
Oh yes, of course. This is the house in Bedford Square, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, and there'll be workmen boarding up the window that I crashed through.
Yeah. I think I see the workman, and I think Justine actually kind of snaps. It's like, we're having an important tea meeting here. Would you kindly go work somewhere else?
Not on my account, Lady Justine.
Nonsense, Mrs. Hargreaves. We came here to entertain you, and I very much, unless you otherwise say so, I very much doubt the workings of the workmen over there are much interest to you.
No, not at all. But they are so difficult to find, good workmen.
Well, they certainly do their job, and they certainly do as they're told.
And then I think tea is served, and over tea, perhaps before your parents arrive, Annabelle will say, and have you heard anything from Miss Isles?
Why, Mrs. Hargreaves, we had nothing more than a brief acquaintance at your party. She seemed quite a lonely child, but there was no course for us to talk anymore. So I've not heard. Why? Something happened?
No, simply that that her mother has, I believe, sent her away to school.
Well, pardon me for possibly stepping outside my bounds, but she did seem quite a lonesome girl. I hope she finds a better path in school.
And I would like to spend my monologue token to find out what's going through Lady Justine's head at this moment.
Okay, all right. So as she's kind of sitting there, having to entertain some high society woman, I think it's like what. I think we kind of enter Lady Justine's thoughts midstream. It's like, oh, why do you care about Freddie or whatever for any reason? You kept her in with that hag of a woman. You kept her in some cottage at the edge of your estate. Why in all the blue hells do you care about Freddie right now? Did anyone even care about Freddie? No. No, that's the whole bloody problem with people here. Nobody cared except for me. But apparently that wasn't good enough for Freddie. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine. It's not for me to tell her otherwise. Freddie's gone. I don't know if I'll see her again. I said we would, but she's gone. She's left. And I'm stuck here. Stuck here talking to the likes of Mrs. Hargreaves, who probably has whatever she has in the state. Well, let's see if she deserves any of that, because if she was the one who put Freddie in that state of mind, then maybe she deserves to be relieved of whatever it is she has.
You seem rather distracted, dear. Shall I pour?
No, I should. I'm your host for the moment, Mrs. Hargreaves. I would not want to believe that we have been poor in your service. Forgive me. I've been most distracted. And she pours you tea. It's like, honestly, with all the goings on in Bedford Square, we had a most frightening altercation here in our house. If you would believe, all these vagabonds running around. It's terrifying. Have you heard that the ivory stiletto is gunning for myself and my dear brother Cedric's life?
Oh, I'm sure that can't be true.
Yet my father would attest that they were here. They were here in this exact drawing room. Whoever they were ready to strike. They were ready to snuff out my father's life. Mrs. Hargreaves, it's been a most dire state of events here lately.
I have a monologue token, and I'm throwing it at Mrs. Annabelle Hargreaves now.
And she is thinking about Cedric Griffin and Justine Griffin and Sybil Griffin and Luther Griffin, and thinking, my daughter Frederica would not have stolen the sword and would not have contemplated killing these people if they didn't deserve it. And maybe I need to find out what's going on with this family, because they seem completely dysfunctional to me. That's what she's thinking. And she's also wondering where the parents are, because the invitation will have come from them, I think.
I'm fine for at any moment for the Viscountess to pop in in the middle of this like war of fixed smiles. And
Justine, do you have company?
yeah, yes, Mama. The Mrs. Annabelle Hargreaves come to pay a visit. We had invited.
Yes, you are. You did not inform me.
I had thought, I had presumed that nothing goes through this house without your attention, dear Mama. After all, you are quite eagle-eyed in all these matters.
Do you think I asked a question without knowing the answer already? Of course I knew we had company. Why, Miss Hargreaves, it's a pleasure to see you.
I'll drop a curtsy because you are my social superior. And thank you very much for the kind invitation to tea.
Yes, we serve very good tea here.
Very, very bitter tea, I think.
The best. This is a true builder's tea. This tea will put hair on a gorilla's chest.
And talking of builders, Lady Sybil, you seem to have had some damage done. Was the wind high?
Damage? Oh, yes. Yes, it was the weather.
I think that thunder probably comes up because it's still bad weather. It's like, yeah, it's just the weather has been most grim lately.
And then I think probably Luther Griffin will arrive just as the weather begins to storm and rain. And I wonder if at the end of tea he might offer to use his carriage to get Mrs. Hargreaves home.
Yeah. Let me just think. Because I think that could happen because let's kind of go through. Is there anything else you want to get other than just to talk to Luther?
That was it principally.
Okay. I think tea kind of goes on like that, just lots of small stiff banter. Let's see. Yeah, I was trying to figure out if there's anything I want to do, whether Justine wants to do to Miss Hargreaves, because they don't know each other as their counterparts. I kind of want to give you a token if you want to let slip of something that happened that night, maybe like the rapier or something.
Yes. If you give me a resolve token, then I would be prepared to say, and I understand that you lost a family heirloom, a rapier of some description.
Do you want me to be the Viscount for the scene because he's there?
Yeah, I think so.
Seems reasonable, and I think he's just blustering. What? No. Oof. Yeah, criminals getting better all the time, getting worse all the time.
Of course, he's had a break-in as well, hasn't he? I wonder, is he connecting the loss of his papers with the loss of the rapier, or is he seeing them as separate? That's a rhetorical question because I'm not going to throw a resolve token at him at this point.
You're playing him, you tell me. Is he connecting that?
I think given that we're now playing him as a bit of a buffoon, I think perhaps not. But I wonder if his wife is.
I mean,
perhaps somebody broke in looking for incriminating evidence about her plot and instead stumbled into Luther's room and took his papers instead.
yeah, I think that's where her concern would lie. I'm trying to think.
Sadly, we're all monologued out.
Yeah. You can't.
Monologue because I think. I think if somebody wants to bring in a resolve token, she'll let slip that they had a break in. Otherwise, because that damages their reputation, because then they're in an unsafe neighborhood, right? She might slip on her own. Well, actually, we have a rumor, right? We have a rumor that can just be thrown in. Crime
Which one?
Control.
Oh, it's not spread though, so you can't use it as a resolve token.
Yeah, so
I think I'll use the ivory stiletto one to basically say, well, I don't know about family heirlooms or not, but I do know that there is word that, I don't know if you hear this, Mama and Papa, but it seems myself and dear Cedric's lives may be on maybe targeted by this ivory stiletto. After all, she, whoever they are, they just polished off Uncle Rutherford and cousin Reginald. Surely they're be coming for us next.
Bah! Bah! They are just a criminal.
So am I right in thinking that because Viscount Griffin is very unhappy with his wife, is spread, that is a resolve token? So if I was to say something like Viscount Griffin is very unhappy with his wife, and therefore, when discussing these break-ins, he says something like, well, they just as well they didn't find your papers. And does that mean I then untick spread for that rumor?
So you cross it out.
So once the rumors use it, it's crossed out.
So delete
it's
it.
Information that everybody knows, at least believes.
Okay.
You don't have to delete it. You just cross it. Oh, there it is.
Just go straight through.
It disappeared. Okay.
And do I untick the spread on it then?
Well, it doesn't matter because it's used. So,
okay.
Because it's crossed.
Okay. So I think that there ought to be some suspicion out of this that somehow her papers might be more interesting than his. ...
Well, you should be safe. As you know, we had an intruder. Do not let this go beyond this room. But of course, this house is so secure, they were stopped at just one room. Do you recall which room that was, dearest?
I can tell you now, he would harumph.
Harumph.
Yes, they...
I think in terror. They were afraid of my manly wrath. Not a proper Englishman at all.
I'm sure they were, Papa. Your wrath is quite manly indeed.
See, you are safe here. Your brother is safe.
I will protect you, woman. Don't worry.
Just stay close to mother and father. You shall always be safe.
I suppose my time abroad has made me forget a parent's touch.
Yes, I think, spent too much time among those foreigners. Perhaps, perhaps you no longer remember how safe and secure you are here.
Well, eyes flick
Whose
towards the
idea was
broken.
that?
Go on, go on.
Whose idea was that? Not looking at anyone.
I believe it was my idea at first, but. And her eyes kind of flick towards the the construction. It's like, well, if you say this place is secure, then it's secure, dear Mama. Who am I to countenance your observations?
Yes, exactly. Who are you to countenance my observations? And Miss Hargreaves is in the room for this, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah, just watching all this family
Yeah.
drama.
It's like a really interesting three-way tennis match. It's kind of.
Yeah. So she came for tea.
She did, but she's had tea, and she's beginning to think that maybe staying for buns would be pushing her luck.
Why, Mrs. Hargreaves, the hour draws late. Shall I call your coach?
I sent my coach away. I thought to walk home.
Nonsense, not in this weather.
Oh, well,
Your age, my dear.
That's very good of you to offer, Lord Griffin.
Yes, of course. Big house.
The lady doesn't walk home. This is... You youth give me a headache.
And I'm content for it for the scene to close with Viscount Luther handing Annabel Hargreaves into the coach while a butler holds an umbrella, and then getting in the other side of the coach and seeing her home.
Yeah.
Is this the same evening that Justine will go to her friend, the innkeep?
Yeah, I think this is just a bit quick. She just wants to blow off some steam, so she kind of sneaks out of the house. I think we kind of cut, from there to like Justine like downing a tankard. She's dressed in, in not ghost outfit, but like she's part of the rabble. She's just drinking and just.
Tell me about it.
Oh, go on.
What's on your mind? That's your fourth.
Sabine's playing Helen.
Oh, so I'm such a fool.
I would give her to you, but then I'd have to play my own connection.
You can't play your own connection. That's a follies game.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm on.
Who the hell does she think she is? This woman made of marble and inks or whatever the hell a woman like her made of.
Yeah, you need another one, I guess. Let it out,
Why?
babe. Let it out, sweetheart.
Why? Would it make me more sensible? You drinking more? What is this swill anyway?
Well, it's swill. It's good swill, though. Put hair on your chest. No, it won't. Drink, girl. You need it.
All right. Okay.
What did she do now?
Oh, you know the drill. You're an embarrassment to the Griffin family. You're a youth, therefore you've wasted your time abroad. Well, I'm sorry that I met the love of my life abroad and she met nothing but a potato stuffed with walnuts. That's who she met. Like, I can't believe I came from those two loins. I just can't believe it.
Seems unlikely.
Yeah, terribly unlikely. Like, come on, Helen. Let's be honest. Am I not at least a thimble more graceful and more well defined than either of those two?
More than a thimble, I'd say. I
You're-
mean, those are kind of statues. From what you're telling, I'm surprised that lichen doesn't grow on them.
Can I just be curious? Does Helene know about the Velvet Ghost and
Yes.
being just the okay?
Yes, because the key to revealing my civilian identity is my contacts to the underworld. So I had to make one that at least knew. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, they should do that. They should just stand on a pedestal, let the ivy grow over them, and let me get on with the rest of my life, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just
Have
do
they
that.
disinherited you yet? Or is that just still to come?
You know, I'm very surprised they haven't, but let's be honest. When there are two choices, it's either me or dear Cedric, who is lovely, but that's all he is. They want more than lovely. They want, you know, people with teeth, people who bite. Cedric can't bite. He just can't.
I don't know him, but he sounds like a bore.
He's you know, look, he's
I mean, come on, he's a nobleman and he's working.
Hey, we all have
If I were a nobleman, I would never work a day in my life. It would be all parties and balls.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. You're right. Yeah, I left, and he seemed like, he's just gonna be what he is, a nobleman who enjoys hawking and hunting, whatever else nobles do. And I come back, and he's like, oh, I've have a career. I'm working now, and I know all things about stuff. I don't know what's up with him. So yeah. I don't. That's
maybe you should loosen him up a bit.
Like how?
I don't know. Get him to do something fun for once.
Maybe I can scare him with responsibility. What if I sneak into his place and like steal a bunch of his stuff?
Yeah, you do that. And then you can help him try to find the thief.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sounds foolproof. I need.
You need another drink.
I do. I just need a few drink distractions. I think getting my baby brought up to tip-top shape. That's a good distraction. I just need, and I think like she puts her hands in her face. It's like, I just need something. Well, since Freddy's not here, and this is probably like the 5th time Justine has told you this.
Yeah, Helen will give you your shoulder a friendly pat. There.
Could I spend a resolve token to complicate this scene by having the Reverend Plunkett in a heavy hooded cloak discreetly drinking in this dive when Justine mentions something about being the Velvet Ghost?
Ooh.
Yeah.
To her world contact.
Hold on. I've been saving a moment like this. And this token goes to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm down for that. So I think it's gonna. I think. Oh yeah, I think. What Justine says is like, well, it can't. How can it be? There's only one Freddy out there, and she's gone. She had to go. I was gonna tell her so much. Did you know that hummingbirds can fly backwards?
No, I did not know that.
I've found out a lot of cool things about birds lately, and so yeah, there's this hummingbird called the bee hummingbird. It's the smallest living bird in the world. It's just 2 inches, 2 entire inches. It's so small. I think Freddie would have loved to have known that.
And the Reverend Plunkett, hearing mention of birds, his attention is drawn across the room. Where, my goodness me, is that Lady Justine Griffith?
I could have been like, hey, Freddie, did you know be hummingbirds. And I go to the thing. I think this is doing just if we that small. And then she'd be like, "Oh my god, that's so small." And then we laughed, hugged, and I don't know. Now I can't even do that. I can't even send her a letter. She's gone. All I have are a bunch of bird facts that no one can enjoy.
Oh, well, I enjoy those bird facts. I like bird facts. I hear a lot of them.
And how does this lead to her slipping?
Oh, where I have an idea. Where did you get these bird facts from anyway?
Oh, just picking around. You never know what you find in churches lately. Really interesting rare birds out there recently. They discovered this thing called a shoebill. Didn't seem that interesting, so like, oh, fuck it, I don't need this. I don't need info of the shoebill. I have this. I can just grab everything else. I'll mention like when she stole the thing, she left a page.
Yeah. Yes, I remember that. I think that's the moment when right across the room there is an angry squawk, and this person stands up and tries to say something, but obviously too drunk or overcome to do anything, and just collapse on his table and cry about something, a shoe bill or something.
I think I just didn't see that.
Don't mind him. He's a regular.
So anyway, about Freddy.
Yes, I think that's scene, right?
Yeah.
Lovely. Cool. Okay, so that was another novel scene. We go to reputation. And let's see about that. We don't have a vigilante. We have an outlaw. Reputation criteria. Gain a mask positive tag if you risk life and limb for robbery, heist, or devilish crime. Showed up, shut down, or embarrass those that try to arrest you. I mean,
they weren't trying to arrest me. Is letting a murderer like the Ivory Settler escape a devilish crime?
Yes.
Helping her escape.
I think
even though
so.
It was for love.
It doesn't matter. It's a devilish crime. Okay. Gain a mask negative tag if you back down. You didn't. Attracted too much attention. You didn't actually. Everybody else attracted attention, but you.
Yeah, but I did leave an unintentional clue in another phase. In the novel phase, I just did that.
Nice. Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's give the first one.
It has to be some sort of daring or. Daring.
Oh no, it's positive. Daring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Timely.
Altruistic. I don't know.
No. And the negative one is probably something like talks too much.
Yeah, loose-lipped.
Loose-lipped, yes.
Explain to me what the M and the C are for, because
that's just for me. I'm just noting down whether they're a mask or civilian. That's just for me. It doesn't really mean anything.
It's interesting. No, it actually does mean something, because if you have 3 negative M tags, then that would be a negative consequence on the masked identity reputation. The reputation condition would come from the masked identity.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because there is one from the I confused which one is in the character or family role, but yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Gain a civilian positive tag if you acted in the service of duty or morality in a way that compromised your desire, or acted in obedience to society's conventions despite considerable hardship in doing so. Or you did entertain Miss Hargreaves.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So I'll count that.
Yes.
Dutiful?
Yes. Dutiful is great.
Yeah, I had to step up because my brother's off playing hacky sack with Hugh of all people.
He is that bad. Well, we'll have this conversation. Gain a civilian negative tag if you acted in contravention of society's conventions or acted on a desire in a way that compromised your duty or morality. I think people didn't see you in that pub, or those that did wouldn't want to be recognized themselves.
Yeah,
we can create a rumor about that, maybe.
Oh yeah, but I don't think anyone besides the Reverend would have recognized. Right.
Cool. Next one, Bounty Hunter. 2 of them. So, Reaper. Gain a mass positive if you pursued a wrongdoer when it was highly dangerous, stupid, or illegal, sacrificed or traded something important to pursue, track, or trace your quarry. I don't think protecting the ivory stiletto counts on that.
Remind me where I'm looking, because I always I'm very confused with this.
You have to look at your mask identity sheet on the on the Google Drive if you still have it. Do you need?
Yeah, no, I've got it. Found it. Yeah.
Okay.
So no, I think I did not pursue a wrongdoer. Sacrifice, traded something important to pursue a track or trace your quarry. No, I didn't did that either. Made a deal with, this is masked negative, made a deal with, went easy on, or deliberately allowed a wrongdoer to escape.
Oh yeah, you do it. Let a criminal act go by beneath your nose unnoticed. Oh yeah, you did that.
So so I need 2 things to do with
you need just one thing, because it was you can only get 1 negative mask negative.
Well, this was because I couldn't see Frederica caught. So God, I don't know. How do we sum that up? Blinded by love.
Compromise.
Compromised, yes, because it's not maybe known that the Reaper loved Frederica.
Fair enough.
Compromise is good. So for the other bounty hunter, I'm a bounty hunter. I did pursue a wrongdoer when it was highly dangerous because the ivory stiletto, and then there was a Reaper who fought me and I got knocked out. What kind of tag do I get for that?
Committed? Or
Committed?
Because you did the job, didn't you?
Yes, I did the job. Yeah. Committed. I like that. Okay, and I did not make a deal with, or went easy on them. Not really. No. At a criminal, I have been unnoticed or without pursuit. No, I was knocked down. Don't know if that counts. Don't think so. And then we have the charlatan, right? Yes.
I'm just wondering what civilian positives and negatives.
Oh, right. Sorry. Sure. No, these are.
Now, I presumably I can't act in the service or duty or morality in a way that compromised my desires. I think I might claim that I sent that letter to Frederica, but I still didn't sign it. So I stayed within the bounds.
Oh, right. Yes.
Whereas I would have wanted to go and see her, perhaps. My desire would have been to see her.
So what would that be?
A respectable.
Restrained, maybe.
Or restrained. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
So I'm not sure, because this is your reputation, right? People don't know about that letter. How would that end up in a reputation?
Oh, I see. Right. No, fair point. Fair point.
I think it's the reputation things are really things that people know. Somebody kind of witnessed that confrontation in the Griffin house might have been witnessed by servants or somebody. Somebody has talked.
That's fine. Then, and presumably you can't get a civilian negative when acting masked?
No, you can't, because unless you're revealed.
Fine. Then I don't think that any of those civilian ones apply to me.
Yeah, I don't think to me either, because I don't know. Wait, acted in contravention of society's conventions. I mean, I was surprised by a girl with use hands in my hair. That was not actually. That was maybe a bit too friendly for two strangers.
So
Yes.
act in contravention of society's
Yes,
conventions.
yes. This is totally negative. I am. What am I? Loose or
Naive?
naive? I like that. Yes, naive. That's cool. Let's have that. Okay, Lancashire lover. Did you dramatically and publicly show someone up?
No.
No, it wasn't that public, the scene with a Viscount. No, you might yet. You also did not declare passionate feelings for or gravely insulted another, maybe.
Yeah, but that was just he and I were in the room.
Yeah, but this is something that maybe somebody witnessed. There are servants everywhere.
True. It's up to you guys.
What do you think? So witty? Because this is a positive tag.
Yeah. These are mask tags too, so.
Yeah, this is a mask tag for the Lancashire lover. Sharp-tongued?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I like that one.
Cool. And get a mask negative if you back down, ran, or hid from a challenge, fight, or competition. No, I don't think that the Viscount counts as a challenge, really.
Didn't the Reaper drop in on that? I've got this picture of us being on opposite ends of a balcony. Or did I dream that?
No, the Reaper was there.
Yeah, the Reaper was there, but I don't think they were
You were
facing.
going into the Reaper was going in to do something, and then I was there stealing the letters.
No, it was a stiletto who was going in.
Yeah, the stiletto.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this, I think you're
Didn't I drop between them?
No.
No? Gosh, that's strange. I've got this really clear recollection.
Huh.
I do get a negative civilian tag.
Yes. What should we call it?
Wait, how come he get a negative civilian tag? You just massage Cedric's head.
Yeah,
that is not done in Regency society if you are not married.
It's like the third time we've met.
Yes.
Here, let me give you a massage.
Yes.
We both got a tag from that one.
Uh-huh. Because Lavinia came by
Yeah.
and surprised us. So what are we going to tag you?
So this has to do with his
Unrestrained?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one's great.
Oh, and you get a reputation condition now.
Reputation condition.
A negative one.
Not marriage material or black sheep.
Well,
family stuff comes in a little bit less in this version, so I think I'll be not marriage material.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Oh, there we are.
So like people like Lavinia and Cedric would be like,
Yeah, well, Cedric is not as badly off.
Well, this might it might, because your suitors become wary or reluctant. So I do wonder whether Lavinia is thinking twice.
Maybe somebody had a quiet word with Lavinia. But maybe Lavinia is young and will throw convention into the wind.
Right.
Well,
Because we don't want to make this too easy for the Reaper, right?
oh, I don't know. I think Lavinia may act in entirely independent ways.
Love it. Very cool. So we will have another episode. We're all finished, right? We did everybody? Yes. Cool.
We
Right,
did
so
you, didn't we? Yes, we
so
did you.
we need to frame a scene showing how my reputation has affected my character.
Ooh.
Do we want to do that with Lavinia really quickly?
Yeah. I think it's as straightforward as Lavinia slapping you.
Yeah.
But probably somewhere public.
Right.
Ooh.
And in the background, Orlando's shaking their head like, you brought this on yourself, you, yet again.
Yeah, so
so-
everyone else is off hunting, aren't they? And so when the hunting party comes back, there'll be Cedric, who's staying because of the weather or whatever it was. There's Hugh, there's Orlando, there's a whole range of hunters and their ladies. And Lavinia comes in and says, "You clearly don't care at all, Hugh." Whap.
Oh.
But what? Oh. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good scene. I think it just needs to end with the slap.
Mhm.
Front of a good portion of society, or a good enough portion that
people can talk.
right.
And you will feel the shame when people just leave and don't come in to get canapes with him after the whole thing. Yeah.
Negative reputation condition. Just haven't been trying hard enough.
Well, now you've done it. Okay. So we have another epistolary phase coming, and then we go to upkeep, which is exciting. I've never done upkeep. So I think we should maybe take a break, 10 minutes, and then come back and epistolary our hearts out and then do upkeep. And I think that will be it for today. We can plan a bit for the next novel phase, novel chapter.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. Okay, so see you at 25 past. Bye. Hi, welcome back. I think Alan wrote that he's a bit delayed. So we'll be waiting for him.
Okie doke.
Scott, where can I ask where you're from? You're not British, are you?
No, I'm American. I live right near DC, Washington DC.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's just all these really awesome games that are GMT friendly time, and I can arrange my work to kind of be in one game a month, which means I see Alan a lot. The last 2 months I've been in a game with Alan on the weekdays, and it ends up working out because then I get a game fix in without kind of interfering with plans with my wife. So
it's cool. Okay, Alan, you're back. I see. So we can go to the epistolary phase. Yeah. Anybody? I mean, I have many ideas for letters, but I'll let you go first.
I think I'd. Does this have to be the major character, or can it be a complicating character?
Yeah, it could be a connection.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if the Reverend Cuthbert Plunkett should write a letter, but I'm not. Again, I'm confused. It's my connection, but it's being played by Sabine. So
he would write probably to Miss Hargreaves about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's up to who's playing the connection if they want to write a letter.
Yeah, the connection, the player playing the connection would write letters from the connection.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wondered whether the Reverend Plunkett would write to someone about what he'd seen at the inn.
Yeah, I guess he could write to Mrs. Hargreaves. I think that's lovely. Yes, I will do that. I can do it now.
Clarifying his kind of suspicions. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he will write to Mrs. Hargreaves, my dear Mrs. Hargreaves. Things at the vicarage are so good. Everything is going so well. I saw a red-tailed swallow last week. Blah de blah. And then there comes the interesting part. Interestingly enough, one of my constituents has confessed to me a very strange conversation he overheard in a seedy tavern. I admonished him, of course, not to go to such places, as they weaken the moral fiber of the English gentleman. But, well, he is a very confused man. And thusly, I write to you what he explained to me. He has intimated that he saw young lady Justine Griffin, and I'm aware that you are familiar with the family and might even exert some kind of healthy influence over her. He overheard her talking in the seedy tavern about her continued affections for a person named Frederick. And also, there was a very strange thing that she said about a book. And when my constituent described that book to me, I immediately noticed that it had to be the book stolen by the villain Velvet Ghost from my church. And I believe now that this young lady is in grave danger because the Velvet Ghost is in love with her and has given this book as a gift to her. Please, dear Mrs. Hargreaves, find it in your heart to protect this young, confused is not the right word, this adult young woman, and lead her on the right path. Yours truly, blah, blah, blah.
And Mrs. Hardgreaves is very interested.
Justine writes a letter to Hugh Botham. I think the writing is a bit shaky. She may have written it soon after she left the inn. It just says, "To darling Hugh Botham, I would like to open this letter by bestowing upon you the moniker of a jackanape, or even a cad. Or in fact, are those monikers too good even for someone like you? Do not think that the whispers from your hunting escapades do not reach me, for I am very much interested in the welfare of not only my dear darling brother, but also of anyone who would cross your paths. If even your current paramour, Miss Dartmouth, deigns to slap you in public, then, dear Hugh Botham, are you even on the path you said you were going to be on? The path of earning anyone's forgiveness? Let alone mine, for it seems to me all you're doing is adding to your mistakes. There's quite a bevy of sins you're collecting there, Hugh. Let's hope your back doesn't break trying to carry it all. Yours, Justine." She's in a bit of a funk, I told you.
Having suggested that the Reverend Plunkett write a letter, can I also write a letter as Annabel Hargreaves? No. Can I write a letter as the Reaper?
Sure, write as whoever you control.
Right. Then this is a letter to Lord Dartmouth. Dear Lord Dartmouth, etc. As per our contract, I believe that I have successfully engineered a break between your daughter Lavinia and Mr. Hugh Botham. Society is aghast at the public display of that breakup, and I'm sure news will have reached you of it. I look forward to receiving your check. Yours, the Reaper. Now, the last big job is supposed to involve my arch enemy. The fact that this breakup ended up being engineered by my arch enemy's secret identity is mere coincidence.
That sounds like a romantic comedy, all right. I know how Lord Dartmouth will respond, but it probably won't be a letter. Probably involve the next rooftop phase, which we'll see next week. Just, I got stuff planned.
Hugh is going to write a letter to Lord Griffin. Dearest Cedric, perhaps you have heard that Lavinia and I are no longer together. She intimated that perhaps we were a little too close. I don't think we were a little too close. I don't think we were close enough. Yours, Hugh.
I think I think I want to write a letter as Cedric to Mrs. Hargreaves. She seems nice. Yeah, well, I can't go to his sister with this. He has to go to somebody, and his mother is out of the question for reasons. No, she seemed nice and she seemed friendly, so he will write to her. Dear Mrs. Hargreaves, forgive my forwardness in coming to you, but I perceived you to be a woman of good character and great heart, and I'm sorely in need of advice. I know that we do not know each other very well, but I cannot think of a person better to help me navigate matters of the heart. I have recently met a person that seems to care for me, and I find myself welcoming this attraction. But this person is a very forward person. I find this oddly refreshing and even brave, but society being what it is, I am in a precarious position. You must understand. I do not stand to inherit, and my other endeavors rest on my reputation. Yet still my heart does not want to consider this. I do not know where I should go, or what I should do, or where I should turn. And so I'm turning to you, dear Mrs. Hargreaves, in the hopes of a favorable answer. I am sorely in need of your wisdom. Yours, Lord Cedric Griffin, etc.
I don't think Annabelle Hargreaves is going to write back until after the next rooftop phase. Though she might invite him for tea.
Anybody else has any funny letters, or maybe our big bad could? I think the big bad is allowed to write a letter of themselves, some part of the evil plot or something like that.
Oh, good. Let's see. She, in her role as a mastermind, let's see. She is going to actually, I think, no, Yandra's in charge of Lord Dartmouth. All right, so she's going to send a letter to Mrs. Hargreaves, actually as herself. And Mrs. Hargreaves, enclosed you shall find a gift. I trust that you can be discreet about what you oversaw while visiting my house. Should you be interested, should you be interested in what's the word? Should you be interested in a scheme that I have, please come to my my private chambers the next time you are visiting. Just give this mark to who's the person in service who would be in charge of, be the footman, to the footman. And then she just signs it.
Dun dun dun.
She's trying to get more conspirators.
And who better to involve than a widow woman in need of social advancement?
Yep.
Very cool. So who has to write some letters? I think, Alan, you've written 2, or?
I've written more than enough, thank you.
Leandro? You've written 2, right?
I think I have one more.
No, you have one more, right? You wrote 2, you.
Yeah. I think no, I think this is a letter to Lord Cedric from Orlando St. George. I think it says to Lord Cedric Griffin. I know we've only had the pleasure of an acquaintance, both at Mrs. Hargreaves' party and the weekend escapades at Hughes' estate. But I'd like to believe I have a keen eye. And let me tell you this now, Lord Cedric, of all the people that have caught Hughes' eye, you are the one who seems most likely to be able to tame him, so to speak. Most of the time, Hugh's dalliances are with men and women who often are like wildfire, flashy, bright, and distracting, but will only last for a moment or two. And once that fire snuffed out, you will move on to the next fire and to the next, to the next. But you, dear Cedric, no, you're a boring fire. No, no, you are fire one would make in winter. A fireplace that lasts, a fire that comforts, a fire that would give him what he sorely needs, which is a sense of safety. So whatever doubts you may have, and I'm sure you have quite a few doubts, then rest assured that even in Hugh's entourage, at least, you have an able supporter. Yours, Orlando St. George.
Speaking as Hugh, that was a great letter.
See. Now I have to play like someone who likes you and someone who doesn't. This is confusing.
I've written 2 letters, right? Yeah. One is Plunkett and one is Cedric. Yeah. Scott, how about you? I think you're the only one who has the letter left. You don't have to do it. But
I did too.
Oh, you did too.
Yeah.
Right.
Just the second one was short, so.
Oh, right. Okay. So then we have finished our epistolary phase. Cool. And we go to upkeep. And that means things. Upkeep. I think we've all used our monologue tokens. Yes.
I don't think I did. Did I? No, I didn't.
But your monologue token is there is
Oh,
no.
yeah, I used it last session. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody monologued. So.
Yep.
Cool. Then we can all refresh our monologue tokens. Everybody gets one. Each player gets a token. Just like that. Review collaboration. I think we're playing with less than 3 cycles because we've managed 1 cycle in these 3 sessions. So I think it's fair to say that we might not get, we might get another cycle done because we've established certain things now, but I think we're all getting another token. And we progress in our conflicts, which we're not playing. These, no, none of these are applicable. So that was the upkeep. What we also will do is to review the collaboration, which means that we'll go back to, is the romantic comedy tone still appropriate? I think it is, mostly. We want to go darker or less dark? Probably not.
No, I like keeping the tone. It's going to inform how I play the Viscountess next week.
Oh.
Which is good because, yeah, it's good to keep that in mind because that's really going to inform how I play her from here out.
Yeah, I think we're actually getting a bit of a lighter tone now that we don't have revenge as one of the PCs.
Yeah.
The absence of a serial killer often lightens the tone, in my experience.
Well said. Well said. Yes, it does. Historical accuracy is, yeah, well, somewhat important. Not really,
Yeah.
though.
Our prime minister was never really a prime minister, so.
Well, we have still gender power balance off, and I think it should stay that way because it would be really weird if it just suddenly came on. And how much hidden information? Well, none. We reviewed our lines and veils already, but if at any time something comes up, please feel free to say it or just write it down. But we probably won't read it until we get to this phase. So I have a lot of things we would wish to say. Exploding twins. Somebody's saying that, but that's your daughter. We've had that. Those twins haven't exploded yet. Not quite.
Yeah, we've not had like a scene together, have we?
No, we will. We should. We had one little scene where you hit me over the head.
Oh yeah, that. And I think I dragged you away from the parents at the start.
Yeah, right. Okay, we finished Frederica's arc. I will put that away. More romance. Well, who knows? One last job. I think you finished that. More Viscounts. Well, we will have it. Ruin you and Papa.
Getting there.
Getting there. Okay. More Cedric and you. That was Scott and seeing the story develop. Anything else, Alan, you want to add for next time?
I think probably some kind of dramatic reveal. Because with her last job having been completed, Mrs. Hargreaves will now be all set to retire. it having been a one last job. So I think some way to kind of get out. Don't know quite how. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, Leandro.
I think I'm down for that. Yeah, I want that. We need a scene with Justine and Cedric, for sure, and maybe I kind of want a scene with Hugh, but as their masked selves. Just finally
Ooh.
get this all out in the open, like.
Yeah, we can do that next rooftop phase, because that's where we start. I'll just note this down so we won't forget it. And Scott, how about you?
I just want it'd be fun to have a really explosive scene with all of the masked characters at the same place. It doesn't have to be explosive against each other.
Yeah.
We almost did it last session where we were all near the same place, but it'd be fun to see them actually interacting as their masked selves.
Cool. Okay. Personally, I would like to see a bit more of the big bad. I have a bad feeling that we won't get to a real conclusion about the whole thing, because there are lots of steps to take, but who knows? Maybe we can stop her before she gets to being elected prime minister or something, and murdering people.
I think we should fast forward her plan so she's like halfway through it.
Yes.
So that it's more like, we are on the the third act of the movie.
Yeah.
So maybe if we get her to where she has all of the pieces she needs in place, and then she's going to go to execution of the plan.
Yeah, can I have a retroactive letter would be from Lavinia Laurentia, the Minister of War, to Cedric, saying the unforeseen and surprising death of my secretary, Reginald de Courcy. Oh no, sorry, the Prime Minister from the Prime Minister to the Minister of War, saying the unexpected death of my secretary, Reginald de Courcy, leaves me with a vacancy. I understand Cedric Griffin has done a fine job at the Ministry of War. Can I expect your recommendation? ...
Might have to spend a token for that.
Very good. So we fast forwarded that. Okay. So I'm very excited to see where this takes us, and what I really also want is some kind of romantic scene with you.
Yeah.
And also I need to tell my sister that he isn't that bad. She should get over herself.
She should.
She's just so intense.
Yes, well.
No wonder Freddie ran a mile.
As if Freddie wasn't intense. Freddie was off killing people. Sure, yeah. Justine's the intense one, right?
Well, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. I want to see Justine smile, but I'm afraid we won't get to that point. No.
Yeah, you need realistic expectations.
Yes, I know. I get
another
it.
person playing Justine.
Okay. So I'm excited for our next session. I think, yeah, it's the right. We're nearly at time, and we're finished for today.
Shall I stop the broadcast?
Yes, please. Yes.